liked my previous vlogs from last week. Today we are back at the Vanity doing some makeup, and today I'm going to be starting my Let's Focus series where I go a little bit deeper on makeup techniques and really step by step on how to do things. And today this video is going to be very minimal, basic makeup for like every day, and I'll go through different types. So if you have dry skin, what you should do. If you have oily skin, what you should do. So it's going to be a lot of me talking to the camera, but as well as me doing my makeup for my skin. So for my first video, I'm just starting with my base. I'm going to show you how I prime, use foundation, concealer, blush, highlighting, all that, anything that goes on your face. And then my next video will be my eyes and eyebrows, and then my next video will be my lips. So this is going to be a section of videos. So today you're only going to be learning about my face because it is going to take a while for me to talk really in depth about each product that I'm using. Also, just a side note, not everything works for everyone. These are products that have worked for me that I really love. So I hope you get a lot more information in this than in my other crazy videos. And then after this video, leave a comment down below if you liked the Let's Focus series, because I do want to do a Let's Focus on something more dramatic, so then I can go into details on really how to contour and really how to sculpt your face, things like that, because we won't put that in this video. So let's start off with our face, because whenever I'm doing minimal makeup, I like to start off with my face since we're not going to have crazy eyeshadow and fallout. I always start with a primer. A primer is really going to help your foundation adhere to your skin and give you a nice flawless base. A primer can be used for so many different reasons. I know it's a little overwhelming because there's primers, but then within that category there's so many different types of primers. There's primers for pores and hydration and oily skin and all these different things. So I'm going to share with you my favorites for each category because I have very combination skin, so I can use a lot of different products depending on the day. This is my favorite primer for hydration by Smashbox. It's the Photo Finish Foundation Primer in Hydrating, and it's the blue one. And this is very, very nice it's almost like a moisturizer, but it is a primer. So I just put it all over my skin with my fingertips or a beauty blender, and it just really hydrates and plumps the skin before I put on a foundation. This is one of my all-time favorite primers. I like to combo primers as well, which I'll talk about in a second. This is the Porefessional by Benefit. This is if you have very large pores. Most women have them right in this area where you can see much more open pores and texture, what it looks like. Looks like that. I love this, and it smells really, really good. So this just like fills in your pores and smooths out your face. You can definitely tell when you put this on. And again, what I was saying about combo priming is, let's say I have really, really dry skin that day, but I also want to fill in some pores that I have. I'll put this everywhere, and then I'll just take a tiny, tiny bit of this and just put it in my problem areas. And now I'm using two different primers. Also, another type of primer is an illuminating primer, and this, I know a lot of people say this is a primer, but I really don't see how, I don't see it as a primer. I see it more as like a mixing medium. Any type of lumi or shimmery liquid that you can mix in with your foundation or put on before to make your foundation glow and your skin glow. This is my favorite from L'Oreal. It's the Magic Lumi. And it's just like a white, very shiny. I've used it in a bunch of my videos, and I mix it in with my foundation and then apply it, and it really makes my skin glow. And I also use this when it's dry skin, but I don't see this as a primer for like longevity or anything like that. But these are really good if you want a healthy glow to your skin. And then I don't have any because I don't have oily skin. But for oily skin, you would want to use either something like this. The Porefessional will really help lock in that oil throughout the day, or a bunch like Smashbox has several different primers. They have a whole priming line, so you would want to go in and ask for something that will help oily skin. So since I already have some of this Porefessional on my hands, I'm going to use a little bit this just on my problem zones like I said before. Just going to press it in, and with primers you really want to press them into your skin, especially with the Porefessional because it is filling in pores and that type of thing, so you want to press with your fingertips. And then I'm also going to go in with a little bit of the Photo Finish Hydrating Primer from Smashbox, just to hydrate my skin a little bit more. And just apply this everywhere. Also, another thing to note, you always want to have a clean face and clean hands before you're doing your makeup to keep bacteria away. And most people, and you should, after you wash your face, use a moisturizer. So I always use my Origins Ginseng Moisturizer in the morning, and then I'll wait like 5 to 10 minutes, drink my cup of coffee, something like that, before I start with my makeup. Because you don't want to go in right over your moisturizer, especially if it's more of an oily based one. So wait a little bit and then go in with your primers, and that will start your makeup. Okay, so now on to foundation. This sometimes scares people because not everyone wants to put a full mask on of foundation. So first, if you have very oily skin, a powder foundation is awesome. Even if you have combo skin, I love powder foundations because they look so natural, especially for everyday work, everyday school. They're easy, fast, and they just look really, really nice on the skin. So this one is very original. I'm sure you've heard about this before. It's been around for a long time. This is the Bare Minerals Original Foundation. It's just the loose powder that comes in this packaging. And this is so awesome. I love using this some days with like a super fluffy brush like this, which will give you less coverage. But if you want more high coverage with the powder, you want to use a more dense brush like this one. But there are some other rules for powder foundations. If I was using a regular liquid foundation, I would start with that right after my primer. But if you're going to be using a powder, you want to start with your concealer. Number one rule in makeup is you have to use all your liquids first, then powders. You cannot put a liquid over a powder, else it will get bunched up and it will start getting cakey and look dry and like cracky. It does not look pleasing. So if you're starting with a powder, you're going to want to use concealers, which I'll talk about right after this. But this is a really good one for everyone, even like people with dry skin. I really think this works very well as long as you exfoliate your dry patches. It covers very well if you want it to, but it also looks very natural at the same time. So, just a little extension from the Bare Minerals Original. They recently came out with the Bare Minerals Bare Pro, and this is a compact. So depending on who you are, if you're at work and you touch up a lot, this might be a little bit easier for you because it isn't a compact and this is loose. It can be a little messy. I find this to be a little bit more high coverage, and you can really get a full coverage with this. They're very similar products on how they look and how they wear. This one is just in a compact and this one is loose. Another thing about Bare Minerals that I love and really respect them for is that how many shades they have. They literally have over 30 shades in this, and it will fit everyone's skin tone. So that's for powder foundations. And even though I have dry skin, I do like using those, especially for school because it's so easy, and if I'm kind of doing like a no makeup look, those are super nice. Absolute holy grail favorite foundation is the Born This Way by Too Faced. This is exactly what it says. You look like you were born this way. This looks very, very natural, but yet it covers so much. You can really get a high coverage on this if you want, or you can wear it day to day and blend it out with a damp sponge and it'll kind of sheer it out a little bit. I just love how this wears. It looks very healthy. It's glowy, but not like oily skin can't use it. This is just my number one favorite. And then another favorite, which is I kind of put these hand in hand. This one's from the drugstore. It's kind of like a dupe. This is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. And don't be tricked. There are two Fit Me foundations. This one is the Matte and Poreless, and you can see right here it has the blue writing on it. Even though it says matte and poreless and then down here it says normal to oily skin, I do not agree with that. I think this is awesome for my super dry skin, and the original Fit Me foundation I do not like. I don't think it blends out well. I think it looks very cakey. This one is awesome, and I think this is good for a whole bunch of different people. So these are my two favorite liquid foundations. Very similar. This one's a little more expensive. This one's a little bit cheaper. Foundation options. But then again, I know there's so much. I feel like I'm bombarding you with so much information right now. But that's the point of this video, so I'm going to keep going. I have a couple more foundations. Well, technically BB creams. My hands down favorite BB cream that I wear almost every single day is the Pure BB by Maybelline. I have a whole bunch of these. I just like mix a bunch of colors all together because I'm always a different shade. A BB cream is a beauty balm. Cool thing about a BB cream, other than a foundation, is it has skincare ingredients mixed in with a foundation. So it's like you're putting all these really, really good things on your skin but still covering up. And usually BB creams aren't as high coverage as a foundation, but I find these to be super high coverage for a BB cream. And that's why I really like them, because they're natural, but then again, they cover up all my acne and things like that. Don't be fooled, this is very similar to the Fit Me. There are two of these. This is the blue packaging. This is aimed for acne prone skin, and I actually do agree with that. When I'm breaking out really bad, I love using this because the ingredients in it are going to help my acne and not clog them up like a regular foundation will. But again, there are two of these. There's a blue one and there's a pink one, and I do not like the pink one. The pink one is very sheer. I feel like I'm not getting any coverage from it. It doesn't blend out very well. I feel like it sits on top of the skin instead of sinking in, and so I do not like that one. But these are my go-to BB creams. So for everyday school work. So today I think I'm going to use my Fit Me. I use this a lot, so I'm going to apply this. And for most of my liquid foundations, I always use a damp beauty sponge. My absolute favorite is from Real Techniques. I know everyone loves the pink beauty blender that you probably see all over the internet, but that is $20, and I don't know why. I don't like it. I've tried using it so many times, and I want to like it because everyone else does, and I just don't. I don't think it blends up my foundation as well as I want it to. Love the flat edge because I use this for my foundation, and then this side I use for my concealer under my eyes. And any type of beauty sponge, honestly, they're all preference. These are so good for dry skin, especially in liquid foundations, because it really is adding moisture into your skin while you're using it, and it gives you such a flawless finish without having like brush streaks. And it's a lot faster, I find, than using like a flat top kabuki brush, which I used to use all the time. But now I just use this, so I'm onto my beauty sponge, and I just start pressing into the skin. You really want to press and bounce up and down onto your skin, and don't wipe. Never wipe, because then you're not wiping it. You never want to wipe wipe like this. You just want to bounce up and down, because that will really press the foundation into your skin and make it a lot more seamless. Always blend down your neck, because sometimes your foundation will match your body but not your face. So you always want to blend down so you don't have that stark line of foundation. So now on to concealers. Again, there's all different types of concealers. Right now I'm going to be talking about the concealer that you should put under your eyes and use to highlight your face with. So one of my all-time favorite light concealers is by Urban Decay, the Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. This is very lightweight. It doesn't have high coverage. I love using this on a day-to-day basis, just under my eyes, chin, cupid's bow, and in between the brows. Another drugstore dupe for this is the Maybelline Fit Me, which again goes along with the same line as this foundation that I just used. This is the best drugstore concealer. I cannot go on about this any longer. I'm going to use this right now so I can just show you. It's very lightweight and creamy, and like has a very liquidy texture, so it's super easy to blend out, but it also covers very well. This one I find covers a little bit better than this, but it doesn't look cakey. So what you want to do for concealer is you want to draw a triangle under your eye like this. This will lift your under eyes as well as cover it. And as you can tell, I'm using a much lighter shade concealer-wise than my foundation and my skin color. You always want to use a concealer a little bit lighter because that will really brighten and bring light to your face. So concealer will add a little bit more structure to your face. You're not using just one flat color all around. I also like to add a little bit on the chin. This is more for highlighting, not for covering right now. So right there, and then in between the brows. So again, I'm going to use my beauty sponge to blend that out. And I like using the pointed side now. So the concealer I put in the center of my face is more just to highlight and bring light to my face. And then the concealer under my eyes is to do that, and as well as cover up my under eye darkness. And that's why you want to use a lighter color, because that will help brighten up the area, since most people have darker purple discoloration under their eyes from not getting enough sleep or genetics or whatever it is. Now you can tell how much brighter and put together my face looks just from adding the concealer in those key areas. Now a step that many women that don't wear makeup all the time usually forget or don't even know about, like my mom. My mom never does this and I always have to yell at her for it. But you always want to set your liquids with a powder. If you don't set your liquids with a powder, it is moving all over the place and it's not going to last all day. My favorite loose powder of all time is the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is the original formula, and this is in the translucent. They have like colors, but I would always get the translucent just because I don't want to add more color to my face. I just want to set my makeup. You can find this at Walmart and as well as online. I buy mine at Walmart. Super cheap, and you get so much. This thing is huge. I think this was like $9 or something stupid. So I love this. And then something very similar to that, and I'm sure you've heard about this. I talked about it in my Sephora haul. This is the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. This is so incredible. This is very, very finely milled and silky. Everyone and their mother loves this stuff, but yes, it is high-end and it's a little more expensive. I honestly, okay, these are very different, but then again, do the same thing. So honestly, I would recommend this one a little bit more. I like this one a lot, and it's a lot cheaper. The only downside to this, it has a very strong, like, old lady grandma scent. So if you can get over that, then this is definitely worth it. I like this for a little bit more formal makeup if I'm doing something that I really want to stay all day and look super silky smooth, but this is better for every day. And then another powder that I love setting my makeup with, which has a little bit more color to it, to enhance your skin tone a little bit better as well as setting it, and use a setting pressed powder. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and this is what it looks like. I love this stuff, and again, this is a little bit nicer just because it is in a compact, so it's a little bit easier to travel with. I love using this because the powder almost has like a sheen to it. So it really makes your skin look very healthy and glowy, and I just put this all over my face right after my foundation. I love big fluffy brushes for my powders, so I'm just going to dab into there and then just set my face. For every day, I just set everywhere really lightly because all these powders are very light. Also, setting your foundation is really going to help when you go on to contour and blush, because now that you have this powder base, those will smooth over a lot easier than if you were putting it onto a liquid. So now that we are all set, I'm going to go in with some bronzer. This is definitely optional. Not everyone wants to bronze, but I love to bronze because I think it adds a little bit more color and texture into my skin. Texture in a good way. Some of my favorites, I'll show you a high-end and drugstore. The Hoola by Benefit, I'm sure you've heard people talk about this. It's just in this little box packaging. This is an awesome shade for many different skin tones, even though it looks pretty light. I always use a matte bronzer. Some people like the shimmery bronzers, but for me, I like matte because I don't want it to get muddy and cakey. So I love this. And then for my drugstore, this is the Butter Bronzer by Physician Formula. I love this stuff, and it smells like you're on a vacation. It literally smells like pineapple and coconuts. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I'm going to use this today. Just take another fluffy brush. This is a little bit smaller though, from Sigma, the large powder F20. I'm going to take my bronzer, take my brush, and just dab it in there like that. And then I like to pinch my brush a little bit so it gets a little bit like skinnier. And so for your bronzer, you want to focus in your contour areas. But the difference between contouring and bronzing is not super focused or defined. It's more just adding color to your face in general. So I'm going to start here, and I like to pull back my hair a little bit and just really fluff this on my cheeks like that. And then the other side, same thing. So you're just adding some color to your skin other than adding like very definite shadows like contouring would do. I like applying it to my temples up here, and then the corners of my forehead. As well as I like doing it under the neck to give it a little bit more definition right there. Okay, so now on to blush. I always recommend this to people, and I have this in my kit when I do my clients' makeup. This is the 10 color palette by BH Cosmetics, and it has 10 colors in there. It's like every color you would ever need. Some are matte, some are shimmery. These are just really, really nice blushes. The perfect amount of pigment. You don't want too much pigment in a blush because then it will be really hard to blend out, especially for beginners. But then again, you do want some color in your blush. So I really recommend this if you want a bunch of different colors in one. Or some of my favorite high-end blushes are the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes. These are very expensive, but they do last for a very long time. These are known to last 12 hours. That's what the packaging says. And I think they have a really good color selection. And then some of my favorite drugstore blushes are these from Milani. This is Luminoso, a very cult favorite on YouTube. It's the baked powder blush, and then this one is in Berry Amore. I love both of these. With these Milani baked blushes, there's definitely shimmer in there, so these are going to give you more of a glow, healthy blush look, while the palette was a little bit more matte. I'm going to use this Milani in Berry Amore. I love this color. I like using an angled natural hair brush for a blush. This is from Sigma, the large angled contour F40. So I just swirl my brush in there, tap off the excess, and then I like to fake smile like that and put it on the apples of my cheeks. And then once you put on the apples of your cheeks, you want to blend backwards into your bronzer that you put on earlier, so it all blends very well on your cheek. Other side, same thing on the apples, and then once you have most of your color there, you want to blend backwards. To put on my nose, not everyone does, but I love like a little sun-kissed nose, and then on my chin and a little on my temples. This is just leftover product, nothing crazy. Now, last but not least, we're moving on to highlighter. This is definitely not for everyone. Highlighting has definitely become a big trend in the past few years. It wasn't ever really a thing back in the day. So highlighting is more of a, I don't want to say sparkly, but luminizing powder that you put on the tops of your cheekbones, your nose, your cupid's bow, your chin, your brow bone. You're really highlighting your face, and it gives you that really pretty glow. So I'm going to show you two different highlighters, a more natural one for every day that I love, and then something a little bit more intense. So my favorite natural one is from L'Oreal True Match Lumi. I love this, and they have like 3 different shades. I think this is like the middle one. I love it because it has 4 different colors in there, and I just kind of swirl my brush in there and then apply it to my cheekbones. This is very natural and makes you look like you have dewy skin, not like sparkly. And then for a very intense highlight, if you do like that very glowy look that's trendy right now, is the Mary Luminizer by The Balm. This is amazing. Let me swatch it for you. It is just very, very glowy, glowy, glowy. See how this one is just more like sparkly and intense, while this one's a little bit more sheared out. I'm going to go in with this one today because I am going for a very natural, everyday look. I love using a tapered, smaller brush. This is from Sigma, the tapered highlighter brush. I'm just going to dab into there, tap off the excess, and then I go on the very tops of my cheekbones so you can see that glow. On the other side, very tops of your cheekbones, I like putting it down the center of my nose and the ball of the tip of your nose. A little bit on the cupid's bow and chin. That took way too long to explain everything. I hope I explained things well. Please leave questions down below or DM me on Instagram if you have any more in-depth questions. So I hope you liked this video and this new series called Let's Focus. Please leave a comment down below if you did, and let me know what you want my next Let's Focus video to be, excluding that I'm going to do the eyes and lips and post that in like a separate video from this. I hope you learned a lot of new things about how to do your flawless face for every day. Let me know down below if you have any other questions, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.